Ladies and gentlemen, 2 months ago, Hank built the best price to performance all AMD PC featuring the 9070 XT and the world's best gaming CPU, the Ryzen 9800 X3D, for under $1,500. During this time, AMD has released drivers that have increased the power of the 9070 XT, and prices have dropped for higher-end hardware, so today we are going to be attempting to build a similar spec PC for a cheaper price, but with a much better motherboard, faster RAM, more storage, and break the world record for most Infinity fans ever thrown into a case by a hot dog. Yes! This is all thanks to Hank and Frank's dedication to sniping incredible deals using Amazon, Newegg, Facebook Marketplace, and of course Micro Center, baby. And to finish things off and prove that this is once and for all the best bang for buck rig you can build in this day and age, we are going to be undertaking the impossible gauntlet of throwing the resolution at 4K without frame generation and getting a victory with randoms in Call of Duty.
Yeah, baby!
The MVP in Marvel Rivals with our waifu Wanda.
I'm gonna come.
And a 20 elimination Victory Royale in Fortnite. Good heavens, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about this one. What do you think, Hank? Awesome, dude. Way to keep up the momentum. Frank, what do you have to say? Goodness me, thanks for the support, fellas. Let's get right into it. Now, all good PC builds start at one place, Micro Center, baby.
Hell yeah!
Although this time there is a shocking twist. We took this lovely little fella with us at 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday night, mate. We ain't going out clubbing. We are in the trenches buying open box PC parts. This is Hank's first time ever in a Micro Center, and he loved it. Unfortunately for him, no one recognized him despite his massive following, so he was obviously devastated by that. Now, I was actually thinking of filming a week in the life of a PC flipping dog and showing more footage of his visit to Micro Center and the method to Hank's madness when it comes to buying and unboxing PC parts and deciding what to do when he builds. So let me know down below if you actually want to see that. But enough yapping, mate. Let's introduce the mega deals that we have, starting with the GPU. Frank, get off of there, mate. Go tell your brother Hank we are about to start the build. No one wants to see my 6'5", 225 pounds of pure muscle building this PC. They want the glizzy.
You serious?
Sorry about that. So we have the Asus Prime 9070 XT 16GB. We love this card, mate. The price, however, is a bit controversial. The original MSRP for this card was $600. And if it had stuck to that, there would be no question that this is the undisputed best bang for buck higher-end GPU ever made. That MSRP was a lie, though. Thanks, AMD. The cheapest brand new one we could find is $700, but even that one is hard to find, and you have to get lucky if you're ever going to see it in your hands. To make matters worse, we've used 3 different iterations of this ASRock 9070 XT model, and it sags harder than your grandmama's tit. Sorry, mate, I keep forgetting this channel is PG, but yeah, thanks ASRock. Really shining through as a company, creating saggy graphics cards and blowing up 9800 X3Ds with your pathetic motherboards. But I digress. We have split the MSRP versus the real-life cost of this graphics card straight down the middle, baby, thanks to this open box deal. $647 for this beautiful 3-fan Asus design from Micro Center open box. A very nice aesthetic, no ARGB, and a bit shorter than Frank. But I'm guessing this baby is going to have great temps and run Fortnite at 8K resolution, 699 frames per second with no problems. Now, even though this card is black, we are pairing it in an all-white system because I think the black and white contrast looks great, but flame me down in the comments if you disagree.
You're so stupid!
But in order to achieve this aesthetic, we have broke out one rule, and it's using a Gigabyte motherboard. Now, if you're an OG of this channel, you would know that we hate Gigabyte motherboards. We don't mind their graphics cards, but for whatever reason, every motherboard we've ever had that's had a problem is Gigabyte. And as you'll see, this build is no different, mate. This motherboard did give us a slight problem, but the deal was too good to pass up thanks to Newegg. We got 32 gigabytes of DDR5 ARGB RAM clocked at 6,000 mega transfers per second, 2 terabytes of Samsung M.2 storage, and this all-white B650E Aorus AX Elite Ice motherboard for an absolutely insane $258 before tax. Incredible find by Hank, who is currently sleeping due to his visit to Micro Center. He is so tuckered out from that. So Frank will be building this board out. Are you ready, mate? Now, this is by far the best looking all-white motherboard on the market. Nothing comes close, but as I said, I hate Gigabyte motherboards. And they've given me every reason to continue to hate them because the USB 3 connector on the motherboard for the front I/O did not work on this thing. We plugged this connector into a separate motherboard and it worked fine, so it wasn't a PC case, mate. Thanks, Gigabyte. Now, luckily for us, the rear I/O has 11 USB ports, so it's not the end of the world, but it's very unprofessional giving someone a PC without the front I/O ports working. But hey, the board board looks great, so buy it at your own discretion. Next up, no high-end all AMD pure gaming PC is complete without the best gaming chip on the market, the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D, which we scored open box from Micro Center for an astounding $365, down from 469 spankers. When Hank visited Micro Center, there was so many good open box deals on CPUs that we got 4 more of them, but if you want to see Hank getting these and unboxing them, let me know down below and I'll do a week in the life of a PC flipping pup, as I said before. Now, this thing with its 8 cores and 16 threads is definitely not the best CPU for productivity, but for pure gaming, you can't beat it with its 3D V-Cache, mate. AMD seriously cooked with this generation of CPUs. This thing is the GOAT for gaming, the 9600X is the budget GOAT, and the 9950X 3D is the productivity GOAT, and still great for gaming as well. Let's just hope Intel can get their stuff together and compete, because competition breeds innovation, mate. Step your game up, Intel. Next up, we have the RAM, mate. Now, in that excellent $258 deal from Newegg, they gave us this 32GB DDR5 kit of Corsair ARGB RAM clocked at 6,000 mega transfers per second. But there is a huge problem. It is CL36 timing, mate. Now, we can't build the AMD Performance GOAT PC without using CL30 timing, so we are switching to this T4 CL30 6,000 mega transfer per second kit. Now, if you are newer to PC building, you're probably sitting there thinking, but Weenie Man, why does this even make a difference? Well, thanks to the sweaty PC elitist virgins on Reddit, if you don't use CL30 or below, the 2 frame per second difference it will make on your gaming PC will make you an obsolete loser and a bad person.
What?
Seriously, if you're on a tight budget and every dollar matters, just use any RAM clocked at 6,000 mega transfers per second, mate. CL be damned. But if you can spare an extra $20, aim for CL30. Now, Frank, get your stinky ass over here and push the RAM sockets into 2 and 4 until you hear a click. Now, the cool thing about this Gigabyte board, other than its USB ports not working, is that it's completely toolless, so installing the M.2 is as simple as pushing this button on the heatsink right here. Just remove the sticker on the back of the heatsink, or Jojo Siwa will appear at the end of your bed singing that Karma is a song, which I actually want to happen because I love that song, so I am leaving the sticker on.
What?
Anyway, for the M.2, we finally have something different, a Samsung Evo 2TB drive. I always say for PC flipping, avoid Samsung. They are actually great drives, but they're definitely overpriced thanks to the brand name Samsung, so I feel like a real baller today using it. Just click the M.2 into the socket, throw the heatsink back on, and Bob's your uncle, mate. She's good to go. Now, I want to make a controversial statement here. Everyone always thinks, oh, this PC is high-end, it needs an AIO. Nah, eat my shorts, mate. We are going back to our roots with air cooling, baby. Introducing the chonkiest air cooler you'll find, the Thermalright Peerless Assassin. Oh, Hank's back from his Micro Center nap. Hey, buddy, can you get off the cooler, please? Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 digital. It has a digital display for the GPU and CPU temperature and usage, and this thing is $43 on Amazon, mate. Unbelievably good value. Now, I bought this one with non-ARGB fans because we are throwing this trash out for... No. You guessed it. Infinity! But here she is in all her glory, mate. The display is magnetic, so you can take it off if you decide you don't want to use it, and it also helps having it off for installation. Now, I've installed the mounting brackets for these air coolers 1 million times on my channel, so bing, bang, boom, magic, baby. The hardware is on. I'll link a video down below if you want a full installation guide. Now, let's throw a little X marks the spot onto the CPU with a TF7 thermal paste that comes with the air cooler, and she is looking lovely. For God's sakes, remove this protective sticker, or I will not give Hank any treats for a week, and he will cry. You wouldn't do that to this man, would you? Once the sticker is off, throw it onto the CPU mounting bracket gently and screw it down little by little each side until it's on nice and tight. Then throw the LCD screen on, and while Frank is slowly losing consciousness to the left, she's ready to go. Wait a second, hold on, mate. We still gotta throw the fans on. And looking at it from here, we've got room for 3 of these bad boys. So with a little bit of hocus pocus, mate, infinity! 3 infinity fans. Kinda stupid because the LCD screen blocks 1 of these infinity fans, but this is the only way we can beat the world infinity record, mate. Plus, if the client wants to remove it for maximum infinity, they can. And if I say infinity one more time, my head is going to explode. Moving on, and we have created a test bench because Gigabyte motherboards cannot be trusted in my opinion. And this GPU is open box, so we don't want to install everything into the case and have to remove it to figure out what's wrong. Now, it does look like a complete mess, and if you're a first-time PC builder, it might seem a bit scary to do, but it's super easy. Let me quickly run you through it. Starting off with the power supply that we're using today, the OGs know what time it is, but if you are new, the best price to performance performance 800 watt 80 plus gold power supply, the Apevia Prestige, tier C on the PSU tiers list, and a mind-blowing $66 on Amazon. We use it in all of our builds and we haven't had a single issue, mate. Hurry up and sponsor us, Apevia. We are literally your #1 spokesperson and we're doing it for free. It makes myself sick. Next up, just connect your 24-pin connector on the right side of the motherboard, followed by your 4-pin CPU connector on the top left of the motherboard. This one requires 2 of them, but your power supply will have it. Next up, hook your fan's power connectors and ARGB connectors up the top right corner of your motherboard, just here, so you can tell whether or not the motherboard is powering up once the ARGB lights up. Then throw your GPU into the top PCIe socket, add in the 8-pin PCIe connectors, and this chonky boy takes 3 of them, mate. That is wild. Then just throw a HDMI cable into a portable monitor. This one is filthy, but it works well, and the link is down in the description if you want to buy it. Now find your F-panel connector. It's usually located in the bottom right-hand corner of the motherboard. You'll see a little legend saying what each pin is. Find the 2 power connector pins and bridge them with something metal. In this case, we are just using a screwdriver. And if everything is hooked up correctly and the board is working, the fan should roll right up and rainbow ARGB should be spat right into your eyes.
My eyes! The pain!
And we have a post, mate. Great job, Frank. Body slam! And the sleepy sausage is finally back in good health. Good morning, Hank. Even though it's like 1 a.m. on a Saturday, he's probably going to go to sleep very soon. Frank has also recovered from his beating and wedged in the middle of the 2 best PC builders that ever lived, not to get confused with the
greatest technician that's ever lived.
Is the most beautiful motherboard you will ever see. And if we get that out of the way, we are left with this stunning case, mate. Frank, can you introduce it? Hold up, he speaks very fast. Let me put it in slow motion for you. This is the Ruix OV603 ATX case. It is a monster and comes with 4 infinity fans. All right, thanks for that, Frank. Very well described. And he's right, this thing is a beast. Fish tank with 4 infinity fans. It's a big case, but weirdly, not much room for cable management with the power supply in there. We just shoved all the cables into this space right here, and it was fine. The front I/O in this case is good with 2 USB 3s, which we can't use. Thanks, Gigabyte. It also has a USB-C connector, which thankfully works on our motherboard, and a switch to control your LEDs, but this baby doesn't come with an ARGB control hub, so we've linked this bad boy down below. It works great and allows you to use a remote control as well, which we love. Overall, the case looks good, but it's not good enough for Hank, mate. We are trying to break the infinity world record here, so to infinity and beyond, and boom, baby, look at this, mate. It may look like we're performing magic, but Hank put serious work in installing these fans, so he is panting and sweating like crazy, mate. Catch your breath and get back to the video. Moving on, we've added 6 infinity fans to this bad boy. 3 reverse blade at the bottom to bring air into the case, and 3 forward blade at the top to exhaust the hot air out of the case. These infinity fans are Dark Rock off Amazon. Link is down below. 3 for 15 bucks, so just $5 a fan for infinity, which is just delicious, mate. A hell of a deal. Go and get them. If you don't get them, Hank doesn't associate with non-infinity PC builders, mate, so he won't talk to you. Time to yeet the motherboard into the PC. Usually I'd wait to install the top fans before the motherboard, but she should be good, mate. There's a ton of room up there.
Why the you lying?
And alrighty, so for once the top fan isn't the issue, it's the exhaust fan, mate. Sweet Jiminy Jellicas. It's fine, I guess. Let's just take off the fan and try again.
Many unbearable hours later.
Alright, yeet attempt number 2. Let's throw it in there while Frank the foreman is supervising. And yep, this thing fits like a glove, mate. Good job, Frank. I just want to say, as much as I don't like Gigabyte motherboards, they look absolutely incredible. And with the 13 infinity fans inside the case, I'm going to internally combust when we turn this thing on. Hopefully she looks alright with the black GPU, but there is only one way to find out, mate, and that moment has finally arrived. I know you've all been waiting for it. Insertion of the GPU, and the whole squad is here. Hank. Frank.
You suck.
The Asus Prime 9070 XT.
Very nice.
This insane Ruix PC case with the Gigabyte motherboard and 13 infinity fans, and of course, who can forget Broccoli Man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Find the top PCIe slot and get your absolutely stunning GPU. Look at the finishing on the back of this, mate. This design is clean. And let's powerbomb it straight into the computer with no regard for human life.
I have a virgin!
And look at that, mate. Easiest insertion of the GPU ever with one hand. We are incredible. It's time to insert the 8-pin PCIe connectors. We've got these cable extensions from Okinos. Link is down below, and this baby takes 3 of them at a time. What? Pause. Get your mind out of the gutter. Throw them in there, and last but not least, let's screw the GPU in on the side here, making sure to hold it up. And look at this thing, mate. Let me take you back to the 9070 XT ASRock. There is so much sag here, but this Asus card is sitting as straight as a ruler. Good job, Asus. No sag bracket today. Now let's turn this cheeky girl on. Here we go, mate. The broccoli is now riding Frank. What an incredible duo. It's like a fever dream over here. And Hank is looking as majestic as ever. Look how fluffy he is. He is literally a runway model, but enough glazing of the glizzy. Let's turn it on. OMG, ladies and gentlemen. 13 Infinity fans have just penetrated my soul, and I love it. This thing is looking incredible. Let me just set up the air coolers display, and there we go, mate. We've got Team Red ARGB representing this all AMD beauty, and we have the CPU and GPU temps and utilization running, and it's looking epic. The display is set to rainbow, but you can change it to a solid color in the software if you wish. We're just gonna leave it for now. Looking at this baby from a side angle with rainbow ARGB, and no doubt this is the best build we've ever done and looks 50 times better than our previous $1,500 all AMD high-end PC. One issue with having 3 fans on the ARGB cooler along with the LCD display is the cable management, but there isn't a huge amount we can do because there is nowhere else for the cables to go, mate. And also having 3 PCIe cables into the GPU is hard to manage as well, as you can see down here, but we will figure it out later. But let's have a look at some of the other colors this ARGB fan hub can do. Throwing it into all white ARGB, and my god, mate, I'm gonna have to change my pants after this. This thing looks incredible. Unfortunately, with all ARGB RAM, you have to change their stick color on the motherboard, so just ignore that for now. We can change it later once we find a color we actually want to use. Moving over to orange, mate, and my vitamin C levels are through the roof with this OJ masterpiece, mate. Insane. Finally, a bit of purple, and this thing is stronger than Thanos, that big purple fella. You won't need an Infinity Gauntlet when you had this much power and Infinity fans coming from your PC. Now let's get to the price. Keep in mind our previous 9800 X3D 9070 XT PC was $1,499, and that's if we didn't include the optional extras like the cable extensions and all of the fans that we added as well, along with the eventual sag bracket we put into the case. Now, if we move to this build right here and we only include the bare necessities for this PC without the optional extras, we are coming in at a monumentally low $1,446 dues, which is insane for this build. And compared to the previous PC, this one comes with 2 terabytes of storage over the original 1 terabyte. It's also a brand new case compared to the open box one. But the best thing about this is if we add the $30 for the fans that we included and $16 for the cable extensions, we still undercut that baby at $1,492, mate. And this includes 13 Infinity fans and a digital display, mate, so the weenie definitely cooked here. Do you agree with that conclusion, or is the weenie cooked and this PC is actually trash? Let me know down in the comments. Personally, I love it, mate. I think the contrast of the all-black GPU with the all-white PC case and motherboard is looking fantabulous. And this PC is so good that we sold it 2 days after building it, mate. It sold for 1,899 spankers to a lovely gentleman that was looking at our 5080 PC from a few episodes ago that had Hank's face on the AIO, but unfortunately that baby had already sold. So we showed him this thing and he was in love. We scheduled to meet in an Applebee's parking lot as he was at dinner with his wife and 3 kids, and he was the nicest dude. He gave me all cash with over $101 notes, mate. It was crazy, but I'll take whatever you can get, and the bank took it off my hands with no problems. He gave Hank a 5-star review, and we made over $400 in profit, so we went straight to the Chimpkin factory to celebrate, and Hank's tummy is now full. We're going to be doing a full flipping episode showing all of our recent flips and profits, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, we've had a lot of people asking how to buy these PCs online after watching these videos, and I finally decided to launch our Weenie Tech Builds website. It's still under development and it looks like absolute trash, but it has all of our PC builds on there that we still haven't sold yet. We're going to be adding more PCs, so keep an eye out. We only ship to the US right now, but we are going to be looking to ship to Canada and internationally eventually, so keep an eye out for that, mate. But the most exciting thing is Hank is finally going to be releasing some merchandise on there soon. We're going to have some t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, but we need a Weenie Tech tech logo. So if you have any ideas, send them to this email address link below. But if we love it, we will make it the official logo of this channel and we will send you some free merch. So if you're good at graphic design, start sending them in, mate. We're excited to see what you come up with. Now, the last thing we need to do is test the performance for this megalodon of a PC, and we are going for the never before done trifecta of a win in Call of Duty Warzone with randoms, getting the MVP in Marvel Rivals, and finally a Victory Royale in Fortnite with over 20 eliminations, and all of this will be done at 4K without frame generation, mate. Do you think we can do it, mate? Well, you're about to find out. Let's go! Starting off with Call of Duty Resurgence, and we are going to need to step things up today because we are absolute cheeks at this game. If you want to see a real benchmarker test this card in the 9800X 3D out properly in a number of different games instead of a maniac and his glizzy, the link is down below. But this machine for under $1,500 absolutely destroyed Call of Duty in our hands. The highest graphics setting possible with FSR upscaling set to quality and no frame generation gave us an average of 130 frames per second and great 1% lows. It looked fantastic, but unfortunately I had OBS set to scale my footage at 1080p, so it probably looks like a potato on the screen, but trust me, mate, in person, Hank was blown away. If you throw on frame generation, the frames per second goes to over 300, mate, but there is a bit of input delay, so we settled on these settings right here. Graphics set to ultra and upscaling set to balanced, and it was pure bliss. Over 170 frames per second, and as you can see by the footage, we were taking souls in this game. CPU temperatures were great, always stayed under 70 degrees, so air cooling for the win, and the GPU was under 60 degrees, mate. Good job, Asus. But skipping to the end, we are in the final circle. Hank and a bunch of random fellas versus a team of two. Hank hears footsteps on the roof, and he has a gas mask, so he jumps outside and ganks the dude from behind. Big brain move from the sausage. Our teammates take out the rest, and we achieve a victory at 4K, mate. Not only that, Hank gets honored with Commando. 9 eliminations, 3,500 damage. Mate, for a dude with no thumbs, he carried this team. Moving on to step 2 of this gauntlet, he needs a victory in MVP and Marvel Rivals. He is starting off using his doppelganger Jeff with FSR set to quality and graphics set to high. Remember, we are not using frame generation, and we get an average FPS of 84 with 1% lows of 69. Nice. The funny, sexy time number. Let's go! Turning frame generation on takes the FPS averages to well over 200, which is insane. And Marvel Rivals is very playable with frame generation, but I'll get yelled at by sweaty PC elitists for using it, so no frame gen for us. Our team was trash in this game, and we needed a win and an MVP, so we moved on. This time picking Hank's Waifu Wanda, but we moved the graphics down to medium with shadows off and FSR set to balanced, and we are averaging just over 130 frames per second. Starting this game off, and again, we are taking souls. Jeff tries to get Hank at his own game by swallowing us whole and jumping off a cliff, but another big brain move by Hank. He flies back up with Wanda to safety and finishes the round off with a ton of KOs, culminating in a 10 elimination streak. Mate, Hank is on fire right now, and he finishes the first round with 18 eliminations. A cheeky win and MVP could definitely be on the cards right now. Moving on to round 2, and Hank is dominating once again. He starts off by using Wanda's finisher and taking out Thor. Later, loser. Jeff tries to swallow us whole once again, but fails, but he gets our teammate, and he once again tries to jump off a cliff. Not today, mate. Hank chases him down like LeBron James in Game 7 of the NBA Finals and saves our fella. Hank comes back and bodies Spider-Man for a triple elimination, and he finishes this game with an easy win, but more importantly, Hank gets the MVP with the love of his life, Wanda, baby. 25 eliminations and 10,000 damage. Now, did we rob the MVP from the Dodson? Probably, mate, but hit the road, Jack. Hank needed this badly. Finally, we move on to Fortnite 4K performance mode, so everything's set to low on DirectX 12, but epic view distance and upscaling set to TAA with 100% render scale, and she is looking beautiful and playing smoothly. Hank is getting over 200 frames per second, great 1% lows, and the game feels smoother than a bowling ball, and more importantly, Hank is taking souls in this game. He's clearly been thrown into a bot lobby because Hank is the biggest bot of all time, and it's a new season, so instead of Superman, there's now mechanical spiders everywhere. But it don't matter, mate. Hank is destroying it. Here he is taking out 2 lads who are fighting in the distance, and he gets eliminations 5, 6,
7. I just bit right on the highway.
Moving on towards the end game, and he sees two lovers making out in the hive.
What?
So he puts an end to that because Hank has no girlfriend. If he doesn't get love, no one does.
Bruh.
And that gives him 19 eliminations. Incredible work from the Glizzy. It's down to us and just one person, but he ain't running, mate. He drives his Lambo directly towards the poor sap that's left. You can hide behind that box, mate, but you are getting eliminated by a default skin dog with no thumbs and a smooth brain, and Hank completes the trifecta of 3 wins in his 3 favorite games. What an absolute sweaty virgin. We have put every elimination from Fortnite and Call of Duty over on our gaming channel, so go check it out if you want to see the Glizzy take these souls. But the real question I have for you right now is, should you build this PC? Of course, mate. Crazy frames per second at 4K with no frame generation for under 1,500 bucks. Drop everything you're doing right now and go build this thing. If you don't want to build a PC and live in the US, go buy a PC from our website. And finally, if you're good at graphic design, send us a logo that we could use for our merchandise. Otherwise, get out of here, mate. Me and the weenie love ya. Goodbye.